What's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of the Dickie and Donny Show, presented by Business on Purpose. This is season 3, episode 2, coming at you live, but it's not live. That's the thing, is that it's not live. It is as the time that we're doing this, but it is not outside of that. Business on Purpose is a business coaching firm that exists to liberate business owners from chaos. We work primarily in the field of construction, but not exclusively. No, we've worked with multiple industries, but construction just seems to work. Whether you're building $5 million luxury homes outside of Houston, Texas, or whether you simply put up 4 or 5 small little container villages right outside of Tupelo, Mississippi, we are here for you. We are here for you. So that is exactly what we are here to do today. This is a little show that we like to call the Dickie and Donny Show. My name's Donny. I'm joined by my co-host Dickie, and I am sleep deprived. And you can probably tell from this intro, but that's why
You
we're here.
know, I did feel your energy was a little lower,
All
and
right.
I failed to remember that you have a 3-week-old baby at your house.
Can we do it
So
again?
no. I just
I'll do it
it's just
again.
I just no
F
no
it. We'll
don't
do it live.
no we're not doing it again. I just mean like
Okay.
you seemed like I don't know, just like easy going. It was fine.
I don't want to be easygoing. I got enough easygoing people in my life. They don't need another
How
one of them
how tell
amongst
me
them.
how many hours did you sleep last night?
Last night was actually, I probably got 5 hours last night, five, maybe a little bit more. But the thing, that's what stinks about this whole like lack of sleep is that some nights you have 3 hours, but you're like, oh, but they were actually kind of quality hours. So I feel okay.
Mm,
Like last night
okay.
was probably 5 to 6 hours, but it was awful Like I just slept horrible. So it's like,
Yeah.
man, why did I waste an awful sleep on a night where I had a little bit more sleep than other nights? But I did. I had my alarm set for 6, and I woke up to my alarm going off at 7:09.
Oh
And
man.
I don't know
It
what
was going
happened
off for an
because
hour.
there's no way it would have woken up my wife or my baby. There's no way. But then you're flustered because you're like, usually I'm up at 6. I wake the kids up at 7, get them ready for school. We leave at 7:45. I'm already behind the 8 ball. So from 7:09 to now is just, full on. But that's life.
It's a blitz, bro.
And I would
You
do
know,
that every day for the rest of my life to have my daughter
oh, of
happily.
course. Of course.
So it's
Yeah, most people don't know this, but there are two types of people in this world. One is a Dickie and one is a Donnie. And the Dickie needs a lot of sleep. And the joke on our team is I'm always sleeping. Got a call from Daryl on Saturday morning. I answered the phone at 9:45. He said, "Your fat butt is probably still in bed." I said, "What do you want? I'm still sleeping."
yeah, no, I don't get that much sleep.
Saturdays are my days to sleep in though, because I usually get up normal times.
Good for you. Good for you. What time did you get up this morning? When I say
7,
get up, what time did you get out of bed?
probably 7.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
normal time. Yeah.
Normal time. Okay. Well, you know what would on the mornings that you oversleep, there's a lot of things that have to happen, right? In everybody's life, whether you're single without a significant other, without kids, you still have things you have to do in the morning. And if you add in some of those other ingredients, the things just start to change. But on a morning like today, I woke up an hour and 9 minutes after expectation. And I was thrown into, hey, all of your morning rhythms are thrown off. Everything you would have done to prep to make sure these benchmarks in your morning are set. On a morning like this morning, there are certain things you can put in place to make sure you still do the non-negotiables, right?
That's
And
right.
and obviously I wouldn't do this probably in my personal morning today, but there are things called checklist, which is exactly what we wanted to talk about today. So you want to talk about a transition. I felt like that was pretty good.
How to knock out your to-do list with under 5 hours of sleep. That should be the podcast title.
All right, here we go. Like, there's something about just checklist as a whole, not the thought of it, of like, man, it's so nice to have this out of my mind and written down. There's something so, I guess, or is the term ergonomically like satisfying of just like check, like that's done. And you can like eliminate that whole thing because it's like, I put the little check in the box. There's something about that that's so satisfying for
Get a
me.
little dopamine hit from it.
Dude, I got a big old dopamine hit from that. I might as well call them a dopamine list instead of a
A
checklist.
dopamine list. Oh my gosh, that would really motivate people to know every time I work hard at something and get rewarded for doing it, I get a hit of dopamine. That's pretty good.
I would say I don't even need to work hard at something. I can have 10 little tiny things on that list, and it's still a little bit of a dopamine hit to be able to say that I did it. It's probably the difference between like a vape versus like one of Snoop Dogg's blunts, I would think a vape is like the smallest little hit, and like Snoop Dogg is like, wow, like remodel the house, and then there's all the little vapes, but remodel the house is like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, we're changing the title. Is your to-do list a vape or a Snoop Dogg cig? That's the new.
Have
That's
you
the
seen that
new.
video where Snoop Dogg's in whatever podcast he's in, and they're like, all right, we're gonna time you to see how fast you can roll a blunt. And the guy's like, all right, I'm gonna start counting. Are you ready, Snoop? And he's already got it rolled. And he's like, I did
Oh my
it
God.
like he hadn't even started counting yet. That's how like he just it's so natural. And yet that's who we choose to be our mascot of the Olympics. And everybody loves him. It's awesome.
Everybody loves him. How can you not love Snoop Dogg?
I
Now,
know.
we talk about the checklist a lot. If you read a book called The Checklist Manifesto, talks about surgeons decreasing their rate of instance by 47% when they follow a checklist. Pilots
Crazy numbers.
obviously have checklists. They run through every single takeoff and touchdown.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with my to-do list. And so maybe this is a little bit of a therapy session. My to-do list ends up being an infinite scroll, just like social
So
media,
many.
where
Yeah.
I get desensitized to doing things on my to-do list.
Man,
And this is why I
yeah.
stopped doing them. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just going to be there tomorrow. So why even try to check it off? Like,
That's a good question. Here, let's pretend that you're a business owner that had that thought. I'm a coach, I'm in the coaching room, right? And
all
it's like,
right,
okay, let's deal with that. Because I've had that before. I'm sure you have too. I think it is not worth having a checklist if it doesn't work exceedingly well. Like I would even say if it works
okay,
moderately well, it may not even be worth having. But if it
okay.
doesn't work exceedingly well, it's not worth having. So if you have a checklist and it doesn't work, something's got to change. And I don't think any of us would subscribe to the idea that, well, the change is that I just stop tracking my action items. No, we all need that somewhere. So something else has to change within it. I think like I'm thinking of when we, moved into our house, there's this honey-do list that's on my fridge and it just keeps growing. And the items were like, change, like I got to redo one of the flusher, like one of the flush, whatever that is in the
Mm,
toilet because it runs a
the
little bit.
flusher.
Like, okay,
Mhm.
flusher. I have to go upstairs and I have to change the ceiling fan from our kids' room and upstairs. I just got to switch them because that
Oh, okay.
one's a better big room fan. So little things that you're like, it'd take 30 minutes to an hour, whatever it would be. And this list kept growing and growing. And then all of a sudden, you know what was on that list? Add the addition to the back of our house that we would love to do in a pipe dream. And it
Just a
started to
small
be
to-do
like
list.
refloor the whole house. And nothing against my, but it's at that point that the list to-do list, if I have an hour of margin on a weekend and I go to the to-do list and I'm like, what's something I could chip away at? If I see things thrown in there, like complete addition on the back of the house amongst swap ceiling fans, that to
I'm
me
giving up.
loses all right. It's like, okay,
I'm going to
what is
football and
this
beer.
list
Yeah, it's
anymore? This
done.
is now a dream. This is not a checklist. So I would say
A
like
wish
that's
list,
probably,
not a checklist. That's a good
ooh, that's good.
differentiation.
I'm
Yeah.
back now. Okay.
So maybe
So,
we need a wish list and a checklist.
and that's great as you think of it in the work sphere, like Dickie, with what you just said. If you have so many things on there, it becomes like rote to where you're like, I don't even know where to start. I would say there's probably even worth maybe breaking it up a little bit of like, what are the things that have to get done by the end of today? And then there's a checklist, and then things that could be added to the week or whatever. I just think one of the beauties of checklists, and this is what Atul Gawande talks about in his book Checklist Manifesto, is our processes, our systems, and he was talking directly in the medical world because he was talking about nurses and doctors. He said our processes and our systems have gotten so complex that we can't possibly remember everything. And it was until I came across that I had never thought of, yes, a checklist is great to make sure I did it all. A checklist is great because I don't have to house it in my head. I don't
It's
have to
great.
think about the steps to get
It's
something
great.
done. I don't have to think about all the items that I have to do on a Monday at work because it's something else is catching all that. All I have to do is execute the system, right? I think there's such a value. So when you think my list is too long, okay, what actually needs to get caught that you don't want to hold in your head? That'd probably shorten it up. So
Man, I
yeah,
love that. I love that. My wife is currently doing some research. She's a therapist, psychologist, doing some research on neurological capacity and our ability as humans to deal with life as it comes at us. And she says she's realizing we're carrying larger loads than we were expected to carry. And we are
mhm.
choosing to overfunction and carry certain loads. And technology allows us to do that. And so we can keep going at that speed I personally love the to-do slash checklist because it allows me to take something out of my brain space so I can capture it. And
That's
then
right.
when I'm doing actual work, I'm not going to be distracted. So often I'm using my to-do list as a catch-all. And then I've actually, you may be surprised to hear this. I have got a to-do list that has been running for the last 2 years
I love it.
on my Mac, and I can look back from every week. And every week I categorize it and say, what are these absolute bold things I've got to get done? We've got a big event we're hosting on Friday. And so I knew today I got to get more invites out. I got to make some calls. I got to reach out to some business owners. But that was top of the to-do list now because it's, 5 days away and we're about to deliver this event. So other things on there are less important, but it helps me to at least categorize
Yeah.
these are the absolutes that need to get done.
That's so good. You talked about how your wife brought up how we're carrying bigger or heavier loads than we were maybe meant to carry. That reminds me, there's this, and we've mentioned this. I don't know if we have on this podcast. We use this at BOP. I think that same idea, it's not only to what we like, because technology has opened up a whole new world, right? It's given very limited people, which are all humans, we have very limited ability, we have limited time, all that. We've gotten 24-hour unlimited access to something that is in itself unlimited. The internet,
Mm,
like it's an unlimited source that we're holding, and I'm a limited person, but now I have access, unlimited access to an unlimited device. And the statistic is that right now, like nowadays, an average person, so think of Dickie or Donnie, right? We're very average. We
very average.
intake the amount of content or data we intake is right now is 74 gigabytes a day, and that's the average person, right? That is not your highly educated person. That is not your Elon Musk. Has to be way higher than that. Just all the stuff he's taking in every day. That's also
I'm
not your
usually about
dude.
75 or 76 gigabytes a day. I mean, I'm just
You are okay.
slightly above average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 72 to 73. So right in the middle is where us together, Dickie and Donnie, is the most average podcast. The best hangover podcast you've never heard of, though. So 74 gigabytes is what we intake a day. I think it's in like 1950 or 1980, maybe. It was there's somewhere in there. 74 gigabytes is the amount of information or data that a highly educated person took in their entire lifetime. So you think
Wow.
of what we're taking in every single day is what the Elon Musk of 50 years ago was taking in an entire lifetime. So it's not only everything we're holding, we can't not take it in, right? It's the commercials,
Mhm.
it's the phone, it's the even on this call, I had to silence my notifications because I have multiple streak or multiple Slack notifications, multiple text messages coming through. And that's because I have so many friends, so many. So of course I have people reaching out because I just have so many friends in this world.
You do.
Uh,
You're a loved
Joking.
Huggy Bear.
Everybody loves them some Huggy. I was talking
Mhm.
today about I referenced I had to get like I have to have a harder conversation with somebody, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to bring out the dog on them. And the person was asking like, who is the dog? And I was like, it's what I call it when I have to be someone I'm not. I'm like, I need a name for that person. Do you have any ideas of like who's the alter ego when I have to like
So you mean like Sasha Fierce is Beyonce's alter ego when she goes on
exactly?
stage? She
Yeah, and
she
this is for
the
someone
big
who's just
Mamba is, obviously Kobe, and so they are
who's the
able
Black
to
Mamba.
Black Mamba. Okay, there you go. See, I don't play
Yes.
basketball.
And I
Uh,
believe Brian Scalabrine was the White Mamba. I could be wrong there.
yeah, so if you're able to live in that persona, you
Just for
feel
that
less
little,
stress in the I love it.
right. So, all that to say, all those gigabytes of stuff that we're taking in a day, like we just have so much that's filling our capacity. Whatever that, everybody's got a little bit different, but like checklists are so helpful because it just gets it out of your mind.
Mm,
Gets it out of your mind. Dickie,
absolutely.
how would you say you have a business owner? Me, hey, it's me. I'm a business owner. I own Donnie's double wides, and I'm sitting here and we are just packed with work. And I have 15 employees, all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I just can't get any like I have all these checklists. I don't there's too many items. I don't know what to do. Help me get started. What would you recommend for me? Like, hey, we'll just have to unlearn some of the old patterns of just allowing lists to be 1,000 lists long. What would you coach me through to help me start actually being able to get some stuff done that's important?
Yeah. So to me, it's about simplifying the process. The
Mm.
hardest part of a process is getting it to its most reduced form. So the simplest version of
Say
the
that again.
purest,
Say that again, please.
I don't think I can. I just,
You
the
nailed it.
simplest, the hardest part of the process is getting it to its most simplest reduced form that still carries the same value of what the process is. And so we work with business owners who work in a CRM called Builder Trend, and they have to-do lists or to-dos in Builder Trend. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that just say, yeah, we stopped following those because we got so many emails about it, we gave up. And so reducing the checklist to the absolute critical pieces
Hmm.
and then building process out of that and making sure those are followed well. So did we
Hmm.
get an electrical inspection? Yes. Okay, now we can insulate. Now we can drywall. So I'd say we do a lot of work about clarifying, simplifying, reducing down. You know, when you put wine in a saucepan, it reduces down to make a thicker sauce. It's a more dense version that's a little sweeter. It takes all the water out. We want a pure form of what is needs to happen. So I'd say for Donnie's double wides, what are is it a critical sales process? Is it critical building process? Which to-dos do we have to, or which checklist do we have to build or simplify? And then
Hmm.
once we simplify it, who is accountable to doing those things? And do we have the right people executing those things?
Yeah, that's so good. I know for me is to back to Donnie's normal world as a business coach, our coaching structure, I'm sure we shared this before. We typically coach Tuesday through Thursday as our actual one-on-one coaching, and then Mondays and Fridays are primarily baked for meetings, internal meetings, administration for our role, marketing, sales, meeting with people, right? And then Tuesday, Thursday, there's a little bit of that, but those are like locked in. We're coaching. That's like the mindset of the day. So one of the things we talk about is like starting the week well and then ending the week like finishing the week and not letting Fridays when all the coaching's done. Now I just maybe get coffee with somebody and like, no, what's the mentality as a coach? And when I first started with BOP, kind of was given a checklist. Hey, here are some general things you want to do on Monday, and I adapted to it. And my Mondays had a ton of momentum because I just had this list of 25 things. I start Monday here and I end Monday having to have all these done. And I didn't have to think about it. And some of the things on there was like schedule sales meetings, schedule marketing emails, do all these things. And then the role became, I don't want to say evolved, but it just changed a little bit. And I stopped using that because no one was asking me to use it. And I looked back and I'm like, okay, I still did probably half of those things, but I did not have a regimented, I withheld things that were helpful because I didn't have a checklist catching me. And just a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what, for this quarter, part of my 12-week plan, I'm going to establish full on check weeks for Monday and Friday. I'm 2 weeks into them now. I mean, already in 2 weeks, it changes the whole game. I don't have to think about it, but it's a thorough look at everything I should be doing in a Monday.
Mhm.
So helpful. So
Yeah,
helpful.
the decision fatigue for owners and for, strong executive leaders in companies is huge because not only are you having to define and name the work, then you have to do the work.
Yeah.
If you're a if you're a laborer or you're a part of a company and somebody says, "Hey, go do this today," you say, "Okay, sounds great. I'll go install that toilet, no problem." But if you have to create and define the work and then do the work, the more mental fatigue you carry in that, it's just taking energy out of you. And so, yeah, so those checklists or goals would be there's no question about what needs to get executed Friday at 11 a.m. Email, sales, phone call, and so we're making it easier for us to succeed
Yeah.
in a productivity sense.
So good. I mean, I would say the builder trend reference you made was good too. I just walked through last week somebody, and the biggest chaos right now is like we don't have anything in place to catch that the doorknobs needed to be ordered 10 days before installation, but this got pushed back. So the original installation date is here, but we needed to order the doorknobs last Friday and we missed it. So now when it's our time to install doorknobs, it's not the exact, but you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
But it just
Yep.
doesn't catch. And my initial question, great, why don't we put some action items in place? And they're like, we have to-dos, and they had thousands of to-dos for one job, which makes sense. So each employee respective probably has 300 or 400 for that job, give it a 12-month duration.
Good Lord.
And that's 40 a month, which is about 10 a day when you think of the work days, maybe a little less, but maybe 5 a day. But even that, like it was so many. I said, when's the last time someone's checked off a to do? We looked, it was 2022. It was the last time anybody checked off a to do. And my question was, what would we need to do to scratch this whole system and minimize it to where each thing has one or two to dos? And then maybe within that one action item of, okay, I got to do this, there's three or four notes underneath it. But to do
Mhm.
this, I have to do this, is this. Simply
Yeah,
following those would be so helpful because we just stop dropping balls left and right.
totally. I
So
was
I
coaching. I
agree
was
with
coaching a
you,
group,
minimizing.
coaching a group last week, and I got friction between a project manager and an owner. The project manager says, "Yeah, we got all these checklists, but we're not doing them." And the owner's like, "We have to do them. If we don't execute this process the way we've committed to, we're going to miss things. We're going to miss the retaining wall. We're going to miss the doorknob."
Right.
And a free coaching tip: where I find resistance, I step in and I put all my pressure into that point of resistance because that's what needs to change. The
Right.
dynamic between these two leaders, I've got to be able to press in to say, okay, this is exactly what we need to have conversation about. There's a experience in the working world or in the field that is disparate or changed from what is expected in an ideal sense. And so we had a great conversation around what's the best way to ensure the quality of the product, the process is followed, but in a reasonable way. There's not hundreds and hundreds of lists that we follow and get
Yeah.
confused by.
I love one of my favorite definitions for leadership is stepping into chaos with courage to bring order. I feel like that's what you do. Like you step into the just total chaos, and it's like I'm gonna do this.
Mhm.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, half of our role as coaches is stepping into crap that we're like, this could go any direction. But
Oh yeah.
with courage, I'm gonna step in because I know someone's got to. And they people hire BOP because we have a badass operating system. And because we get your business so clean, so clarifying, I believe in our product. It's not just me sell. Like I do believe in what we do. I've watched it change people's lives, marriages, all that. But so much of someone hiring a coach is the ability to say, "Hey, I'm on the outside here," which means I'm not partial. Which also means when I look at this situation, you're both something's wrong here, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to step directly in the middle of this, and I'm going to say, "Hey, you, I think you're wrong," and "Hey, you, I think you're wrong," and you hate each other. So let's all have a cup of coffee and figure this out. That's the dog, right? When I got to get the dog out of me or whatever, I need that. That's not Sasha Fierce, and it can't be Huggy Bear. That's just too soft.
Oh, it's hug. You've got two personas of both bears. You've got polar bear and huggy bear. Polar bears are nasty. Are those swimming bears? A swim bear in Australia? Have you seen those?
Polar bears are the only bears that hunt humans, and that's kind of what I feel
There
like.
you
To
go.
get on the
So
opposite side of who I normally am, I have to feel like I'm hunting
So
somebody.
Huggy Bear is this warm blanket, it's cashmere. Polar Bear is like
Cashmere,
I'm
maybe
going
that's
after I'm going after you. So
if
I
if
think
a
if you
Huggy Bear is cashmere, what's a polar bear?
Polar Bear
Grizz,
is Carhartt and I don't know,
Carhartt,
just going after
Carhartt.
you.
I like polar bear. Yeah, I think I don't love the nickname Huggy Bear because I want to be naturally more polar, but I feel like I just need to lean into who I am. And
I think it's
part
a
of me
wonderful part of who you
perceives
are.
Huggy Bear as soft, and I also think it's okay to be soft. So when I was teaching high school,
I
all my
like
high school
touching, so I
kids,
don't think there's anything wrong with Huggy Bear. I mean, I don't like touching you, but I mean, I like being friends with you. This is going weird. Did you freeze? Hello?
no, one of my love languages is physical touch. So I do think there's a reason our relationship is so strong.
That's why.
Um, that's why we do
Check.
hug.
Checklist.
We do. You know what was fun? We taught my 4.5-year-old how to dap up this weekend.
Mm,
Like the boom and then this because he can snap. He's so proud that he can snap. So
that's
much
so
fun.
cool.
When
Mm,
I like go to give him a hug, he's like, "No, Dad," and he throws up the dap. I don't know. It's so fun, but I wish he hugged me. That'd be fun.
love it.
So I digress. Checklist will change your life. Here's the action item. One, you can email businessonpurpose.com. You can't email that. You can look it up and go to contact form. Or you can email Shawn, SHAWN at businessonpurpose.com or Brandon, normal spelling at businessonpurpose.com. Dickie and I would love to sit down with you and build out a real checklist if you want. Dickie, what do they need to put in the subject line of the email if they want us to sit down and build a checklist with them?
Man, Ziploc checklist.
Ziploc checklist. Great. Put that in and also comment on this video if you can guess the special word that I used in today's intro given from Dickie prior to the call. But
Yep.
man, these checklists are game changers. I think both it's because what it does is it affects the psychology of humanity. It's not just work related. Like my checklist at home is as important. My wife and I do a Sunday meeting, and if we don't follow our normal checklist of what we need to cover, there are holes in our communication. We might talk about everything we need to talk about, but we don't talk about that week's meals. We feel it. We might talk about everything we need to talk about, but we don't talk about like that week's, you name it, right? That week's, okay, what are we doing financially with this, this, and this? If we don't talk about that, we miss each other. And there's a checklist that we follow. It's also at work, there's a checklist that we follow. Even in our coaching calls, there's a rough checklist of, hey, in this
Yeah.
coaching call, I need to hit these metrics. I need to do these things. It's just so helpful to get it out of your brain. So,
Yeah, and one add-on, when you schedule checklists to get done on certain days, you're prepared for them. So I had to have a financial conversation with my wife on Friday. It was fine, normal. Let's check the budget, let's run the
Dickie's spending too
numbers.
much money
It's not the case, but
this time.
sometimes it is. This was
So,
not the case this time, but I digress. So we ran. I hate those conversations. Like
yeah,
I
I
think
do
very
too.
macro, like 10-year, 20-year picture. My wife is very micro in the 1 day, 1 month picture. So you can see the challenges. Now, yin and yang, we work together, we're great. So we were having these conversations. Well, I knew Friday at 4:30 after I finished work, I was going into this conversation. Totally ready for it though, because I had planned it. I knew what I had to do. We were running through the new categories of the budget. We're getting everything organized. I was ready. That conversation went great, but I knew about it. If that had happened on a day where she's like, "Hey, by the way, after work, can you run through this with me?" Oh,
Whew,
dude, I'm done.
I
I'm already
agree.
spent from the week. So then I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Prepared for it. So I think for me, knowing what's coming helps my
Hmm.
mind to get ready for it and to be ready.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd say if your to-do list is only a list that always just you have no scheduled time to do it, putting those down, you know, Friday at noon, Saturday at 1, Monday at 8, whatever your time is, that's super helpful. So it just gets that
So
mental
good.
fatigue out of the way.
Even throw in like at the end, because I think you could schedule when you're going to do it, or you could just each item on it could have a due date. And you're like, okay, I don't know what to do right now. Okay, what are the most recent due dates? And just that's like it automatically organizes your which way am I going to go? So, yeah, there's so many pieces of this. I think if you haven't read Checklist Manifesto, it really is a good book and it will get you some buy-in on checklist. But man, I would say I don't even think we over checklist things. Everything is a checklist because, like a tool says, it gets all this complexity out onto a piece of paper that all we have to do is go run the script and it makes it easier.
And the book I just started reading here, Gap in the
The
Gain,
gap
you've
in the
heard about
gain.
this?
Oh, yeah, I've
Good
heard of it.
old Danny Sullivan.
Dan,
So I'm sure in the next couple of podcasts we'll get into that book as I get into the meat of
can you
it
reach
and
out to
finish
Dan
it.
and ask if he'd join our podcast to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean he's kind of on the lower end of coaches, so I don't know if he's made it yet. Just
It's okay.
kidding. He's like the
We believe in
biggest coach
second
in the world.
chances.
We
So,
believe in second. Danny, we're here for you. We're
Danny,
happy to talk
that
about
we
the
don't
gap
have
in
a
the game.
Danny yet. Dickie, Donnie, and Danny.
Dickie and Donny and the Danny Show. Oh, he's definitely coming. I'll see if I can reach out to him.
Yeah.
I
All right.
think
If
one
you
of my
need me to turn on
clients
the polar
knows
bear,
him.
just let me know. One of your clients knows him. We got him then.
I think so. Or maybe he doesn't. He thinks he knows him. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Well,
You know
that
what I'm saying?
is,
You know the people that are like, oh yeah, I know Dan Sullivan. We had a brief 1 minute thing where I said hi to him on the way out of a conference.
and he didn't hear me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right,
the.
right. Yeah,
Um,
let me text him.
would you please? That'd be great. Anyways, if you, as always, we're in season three now, which means we're pretty regimented on what we're doing here. We already have the next few seasons mapped out. Whether you believe
Mm.
that or not is up to you. We'll leave our thought
Whether we believe that or not is up to
yeah,
us
is
too.
also there. But if you guys, if there's anything, if you're an avid follower, I think we have about 11 or 12, feel free to comment if there's something you want to hear us talk about. We do a decent job of staying a week or two in prep of these and making sure we do all that. But if there's something y'all want to hear, we're men of the people. Dickie and Donnie want to make you happy.
Checklist to change lives. What was our original title?
You'd have to go back. There were a couple. There were a couple
Yeah.
at the beginning of
Okay.
this call.
42. Did you ever think we'd actually record 42 episodes?
I wasn't sure.
I mean,
I was
in
hopeful because I enjoy it.
3 weeks, we're going to be 10% of our way to our goal of 453 episodes. That's pretty freaking
Man,
cool.
been grinding, brother.
I mean, think
That's
about
why
what the
it's
next
important to have a
90s.
vision. Yeah, think of how
Yeah.
much better we're going to be. I mean,
Dude, we're going to
one of
look
these
back
is
and
going to
think
go
those
viral.
were just dog do
Dog
podcasts.
water, as the kids say.
Dog
Dog
water.
water. what they used to say 3, 4 years ago. I don't know what they say now, but
All right, let's go jump on this meeting before our coworkers yell at us for being late.
all right. All right. Well,
Have a great weekend,
businessonpurpose.com.
everyone.
Run your business with a checklist. See ya.
Peace.